that should remain that way for years and years.
It's true.
And he's been married now his 30 over 30 years
Yeah.
because his kids are over 30. I think.
No, they're not over 30.
No,
Not yet.
no, the son isn't 30.
Maybe little Gary.
Yeah.
Not Alyssa.
This is a couple years away, isn't it?
She's 27, I think.
Yeah, she
26,
makes pretty
27.
good money. She does.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
she does banking or something.
Yeah, she does a good too. Good job, surprisingly.
Oh, she's really smart.
Huh?
Oh, she's really smart.
Oh yeah, he works hard too on his job. You know, he got laid off.
Little Gary?
Yeah,
He did?
for a long time. The first job he had,
Oh.
not the one he's doing now.
What is he doing right now?
Well, he's working with one of these big companies, I guess, salesman. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he bought his job, his house, you know, at a Bergman, a condominium that the bank had put up for sale that they confiscated, and he got a good buy on it. Cindy backed it up, you know, took a look at it, and they okayed it, and they bought it. And Gary painted everything, fixed it up, and it looked a nice home, you know.
That's
So it's
good.
a good starter house for Gary,
Yeah.
because he can't afford a big home, but a small home as you got is perfect for him, and he's very happy with it, I think.
Yeah. He doesn't need a big home. He's not
No,
married or
no.
anything.
Why do you do that? Why do people invest $3 million in a big estate? What good is it? And all that money invested in something like you're living in, you know, and not getting any benefit from it.
Yeah.
So what good is it spending so much money? You can spend half as much money and get a nicer house for cheaper money, and get take advantage of your money,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Especially if you don't have a family.
Huh?
Especially if you don't have kids or
Yeah,
anything.
well, naturally, once you have kids, you forget about the too much money, you know. Not like you could take it and throw it out the window as you want to with kids, no, because that money will fly out that way and never fly back. Yeah, kids.
That's true.
Yeah.
My dad talked to Uncle Larry the other day. My dad talked to Larry yesterday.
Yeah, he told me that.
Yeah.
He called me too, Larry.
Really?
He calls me every once in a while, and just to talk, you know, and we talk about my brother Sal. You know, Larry wants to always talk to him, and we can't get a hold of Sal because his wife has control over him.
Yeah.
And she don't want us to have him to have anything to do with us, because she's afraid that we'll get his money or something. Because he is worth a few dollars. He worked all his life, and he was cautious with money, so he has a few dollars. And she wants that money to stay in her family.
Sal's your brother?
Huh?
Is Sal your brother?
I didn't hear you.
Is Sal your brother?
Sal, yeah, it's my brother. He's an older brother, 2 years older. He's always been good to me. Wherever I ran into him, I always needed money. He always gave it to me or loaned it to me. Even in the army, we met one time at the Jewish holiday, and we got a pass because of the Jewish holiday. And I went to his camp, and he went to my camp, and we passed each other on the way, and missed each other. He got in my camp, and I went in his camp, which was 100 miles away from each other. Airfield. He was in the Air Corps, and I was in the military police. so then he looked us up in my town and found a bar that I hung around in, and walked in there, and there I was. And I hadn't seen him then for 4 years by then. He used to work with the government, with the CCC
Well, first of all,
camps.
somebody's on your phone.
You know,
What did you want to talk to him about?
Civilian
Because he already came to see
Conservation
you today.
Corps.
Yeah, but
And I didn't. And then they went right in the
About what?
army
I'll
from
tell 'em.
that. The army drafted them. They were the first ones to go into the war.
it's from this
His,
morning.
his company.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went into it. And then my older brother just went into it. All three of us went into it.
Checking out
And
Tuesday.
they didn't give a damn. Just had 2 kids
Okay,
at the
he'll
time.
be here
They
tomorrow to
still
talk to you. He's
got
not going to
drafted
keep
him.
calling here.
Really?
I've
yeah,
already
they
had to
didn't
page
care
him 3
about
times.
that.
He's not going to do
Kids
that.
Yeah.
in the draft.
Yeah.
When they needed
Let me call him
men,
about
they
your leg.
took men. They didn't care where you look from or where you come from. All they wanted is somebody that put a rifle on his shoulder and march. That's all. Be a soldier. That's all they wanted. And you get killed. And when you got killed, it was expected. And the insurance was matched it. They charged you quite a bit of life insurance. At that time, they about $100 a year, which was a lot of money for life insurance. And at the end of the war, so few guys got killed. They had made so much money off the insurance that they had to give back so much of the money to the soldiers, which is my hand flew out. I got about $80 or $90 put in there after I got out of the army.
Yeah.
And but I could use it because I was broke, flatter than a tire. You know, which was a natural state for me. State. You know, if I put on my hand in my pocket and pull out $50, it'd be strange to see in my pocket. $50. I didn't see very many $50 in the first years of my marriage. No way.
What was your when did you marry? When did you get married? Do you remember what year?
What year?
Yeah.
Let me see. I could just about. I went to work in 1953, so I would think I married in about 1950 and 1949.
What was your wedding like?
Huh?
What was your wedding like?
Where was the hell that?
What was it like? Yeah.
What was it like?
Oh, it was. We went to preacher, you know, in a church, a reverend.
Oh, really?
They could marry you then. They had licenses to marry people. And we got married. It cost us $10 to get married. That's the most I had in my pocket, $10. The suit I was wearing was borrowed from Hudson's on credit.
Yeah.
Everything with me was borrowed, rich, you know. Myself, to own anything, I didn't own nothing, period. Even when I was married, we were broke. What happened, we got presents. I think we got about $50 in presents from her sister and my brother, my 2 brothers. You know, they chipped in together, and they had $50, and her sister gave us, through the wedding, she bought the food and stuff with it.
You had a little party?
Well, a little private party, you know. And,
What'd you guys drink?
huh?
What'd you guys drink?
I didn't
What'd you drink?
drink.
Yeah.
We drank. We bought I don't know, a bottle of liquid or some stuff. We didn't care what we drank at that time. You
Yeah.
know. With the beer, if it was beer, good. If it was the whiskey, we didn't drink too much of it, and so forth. So it was a cheap wedding, you know. It was and within the bounds of our money we had, and their sister's money. You know, she had a little more money than we had. So we had a wedding at her house, and that would happen.
Who was your best man?
Huh?
Who was your best man?
Who?
Yeah, who was your best man at the
I-
wedding?
Who
Who was your best man?
This guy is a purple gangster. What's his name? Boomy Cooper.
Boomy Cooper?
Yeah, the Boomy was a nickname. Boomy, they called him. Boomy, like a gun shooting boom,
Oh,
you know. He used to carry a gun all the time. And stick me with it to carry out of his bar when the police were in there.
Yikes.
Because he was parolee from prison, they could throw him back to prison for frequenting of a bar. It's against the law to do a ex-con with parole to walk into a bar. It's, you know, against the law to do it. He went back, they caught him blindly and sent him back to jail, and he probably served close to the rest of his life in jail.
Wow.
He was a young guy, and he served years and years in Jackson prison. Jackson is Michigan's toughest prison, the big tough. A lot of the guys in 12th Street was alumni from them prisons, you know, customers. They all fluctuated the jails, in and out at one time or another, including me. I was addressed when they shot the two labor leaders, the two brothers. They were leaders in the union.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody came into Detroit from out of town, was hired to kill them, and shot them both and wounded them. And they went around 12th Street and picked up about 100 guys, and most of them Jewish from the clubs, and arrested them for attempted murder. And I was one of the guys they picked up.
Wow.
And I'd never been arrested before. And they took me downtown, kept me overnight, and they questioned me and turned me loose.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in no problems. I didn't have, I had all the answers to the, you know, I didn't belong to no gangs, and I never was arrested, and I had a good record. I came out of the Army. Everything I spoke was a good record. So they arrested me in publicity that showed that they were going out and arresting people, and that they made a big show out of it and then let it go.
Wow. Was that the only time you were in jail?
Yeah, yes. In the Army, I was in jail. It was a minor, you know, AWOL, away without leave. I used to take
AWOL.
15 days extra on the furlough, and they charged me with that, you know. I'd have to pay a fine and so forth, and stay a little time in the jailhouse. It wasn't too bad, you know.
Wow. Tell me about that prison guard.
The what?
Tell me about the prisoner, the German prisoner.
What?
You told me about this German prisoner you saw once when you were on guard.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, he told me he showed his son a picture of his kids to me. Yeah, he's bragging about his kids. He shows them so proudly to me, and then I looked at him and said, "Listen here," I said, "did you know I'm Jewish, you know?" And so when I told him that, he walked away from me, you know, was afraid to talk to me again. You know, they couldn't tell who was Jewish or not, you know, and there's no danger in me. I got a gun and he's got nothing.
You told me there was another soldier.
there was one that looked like he was jumping. He was mad, you know. He knew I was Jewish, and he said a few words and swearing and everything. And I told him some words back to him, dirty words in German. And he got mad, looked like he was going to run at me. So I pulled the bolt I had a small a rifle, not a big one, not a Duran. And I pulled the bolt back and you hear it click, because it's heavy when it makes it hit. Metal hits the bolt. And his sergeant jumped in
Okay, your
between
doctor
us.
called me back.
And he
And
knew that
it's not the
guy
doctor
would
you talked
shoot
to
him
this morning,
in
it's
a
a
minute
covering doctor.
if he jumped
So
at
he
me.
said just to leave
And
a
he
note
told
and
him
have
in
the doctor
German to
check in
walk
in the morning
away,
when he comes in, so I
and
could do
leave
that.
us alone.
Okay?
Yeah.
And they listened,
Anything we
whatever
can do
the
right
sergeants in German tell the soldiers, like a general telling them. They got a lot of authority, German sergeants and so forth. So but the German
It's
soldier
okay.
looks to the sergeant like
Getting
he's
better
God
or
in a
worse?
way, you know. So strong guys.
Oh, good.
But that guy would have shot him, because they wouldn't do nothing to me. They would
Weren't you supposed to be hanged?
court-martial me and find me guilty and ship me out to a different camp, away from my friends and everybody. That's the worst it would have done to me.
Yeah.
So I was in no danger of getting in trouble. So I would have killed him in a second if
Well, if
he
you
had
have
jumped
pain,
at
they're
me.
gonna come get yours.
Impossible for
And
him
that's okay,
not to
but-
kill him.
As long as it's feeling
No.
better.
And I would have, if I not only shot him once, I would have emptied the whole gun in him to make sure I
Let
killed
me
him.
grab some gloves.
Leave me alone. At that time, don't forget, all the news was coming out about the what they were doing to the prisoners at that time. And the sentiment was way against Germany, you know, because they were doing all that murdering.
Yeah.
Basically about.
And naturally, the guards that we were in weren't in love with them either
Why is there so many bugs?
when we guarded them. Although we didn't mistreat them too bad.
Fruit flies. We have to get
We
rid of
used
your
to take
pudding.
them out in the woods and they'd work out in the woods and come back
Your
in.
pudding.
And they never gave us no trouble. Once in a while they broke out and then they caused a little flurry, but then it ended, you know, after we caught them.
Yeah.
But they, at that same time when they were killing Americans, when they caught them as prisoners, they were killing them. They were playing with games with the American prisoners.
Yeah.
And then the Germans finally stopped when the Americans started retaliating, you know, about the,
1, 2,
with
3. Yeah, we know.
the only way they could stop the killing from prisoners.
1, 2.
Yeah.
I swear I just.
So that was,
I know.
you know. It was an experience, you know, I never forgot that. I never forgot the guys I served with. I still remember my best friend, you know, we were together 2 years together every day. We used to go to town together. We were alike each other, same age, 20 years old, and we liked the same things, as drink a beer and so forth. And then the wind-up is he met some girl and he fell in love, and I guess they got married. I don't know. He disappeared one day. I never saw him again.
Huh.
What do you want?
He got a job with us, and he did the job 80 hours a day, and then he went to town and got out
No,
of
you'll have some more later.
the camp with the pass, and he spent the time with his girlfriend.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
Hi, Nora.
Nick Panchis.
You're pretty set,
I remember
okay?
that name. That's a tough name to remember. He was a Bulgarian or Serbian. I think he was Serbian.
When he gets dinner, will you throw this on his plate for him if we're not here? It's just-
Oh, his pie?
Yeah.
I saw you guys brought him something. Yeah,
Okay.
it should be here soon.
Okay.
Sam, remind me that your pie's here. What kind of pie is
Strawberry pie.
The what?
this? Your pie is here. I saw you guys brought that for him.
Chair.
Huh?
Your pie.
Your pie.
Don't forget about
I was
the
just telling
strawberry
her
pie.
you've got pie so she can give it to you during dinner.
A tie.
No, the
Pie.
pie. The pie.
The cake.
pie.
The strawberry pie.
pie.
Oh, yeah, what
If
about?
I don't eat it,
Huh?
can I eat some? Can I eat some?
Can you eat some?
Yeah.
There's not enough for two.
You're so mean.
I know you refuse it.
I wouldn't eat it.
Say you would never accept it.
I wouldn't. You're right.
I know that. I know that. Don't. You know, I'm not a complete idiot. 50% of it is.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
You know what's going on.
No, well. So I've been accused of knowing different things, but then also accused of not knowing different things. So I even it out. You know, but the pie, I know I was saving it.
I know you like food, so I wouldn't take it from you.
You know, I think I'm saving it for the after facts pie.
What about, didn't Dr. Sumerian tell me you can eat whatever you want?
What?
Do you remember he said that?
What?
Your doctor this morning.
What?
He said let him have whatever he wants.
Wash your hands.
No, let him have. You can have whatever you want.
Me.
You.
He said. So
He's told me that. I don't know if it was a joke or what, but
he said I could have from him.
oh, from him, anything you want.
He likes me very. I got news for you. Our relationship is a past friendship.
Oh,
He
okay.
admires me for my witty little brains, and I admire him for his witty big brains. Really.
I believe
And
you.
we cut each other up. You never heard two people cut each other than me and him. You listen to me, we hate each other, but we secretly we admire each other.
I like your spunky personality.
Everybody that hears him likes him, falls for him because of his directness to you. When he talks to me, he talks with a direct passion.
So do you.
Over me.
No, you do too.
Huh?
You talk with directness. You do.
I do?
Yeah.
Talking what?
Like you're very direct.
Direct.
You are.
Yeah, with him, but I can feel, because I know he likes me that much, you know? At one time, I used to talk to him with awe, like you get a doctor, you know, you respect. But with him, after he talks to me, I know he really talks at me, and is telling me things, and respectful of me, and respectful of what I say. He does a lot of laughing when I talk, and I talk the same way with them. And so it got so.
Okay, I'll be right back, Sam.
Yeah, I know. So tiresome.
I'll be back.
But the truth is, he does really like me, and he shows it, and he tells people that I'm as smart as he is,
It's true.
which is
True.
very smart. And he says he would never gamble with me because I knew it, and he knows that I'm a good gambler.
Oh yeah.
And from my own words, you know. And he said I would never gamble with me. He tells other people that. But he does a lot of things for me.
Yeah.
And he comes here every day to see me. He never mixes one day. Every morning he's right here, standing over my bed. I'm still half asleep when he's there. And, you know, he's leading my medical direction through the Rocky Craigs. You know, the Scottish Fiores, what I say. And he does the leading. And he is a leader, I guarantee you. And he's got a very good income. I could guess on that because he's getting not the shortage of patients anyway. That to me, I also pay a pretty fair price now over there. I got a lot of bills, you know. I told my son to not pay in case happens to me. They throw me out of all these places. Don't the hospital doctor bills, don't pay them because some of them are outrageous. The ambulance driver at the hospital when they drove here to charge me about $400 or $500 for driving me here.
It's a lot.
You know, and I told Gary not to pay it yet. Wait and see, find out. So that's the word. You know, the doctors, you know, they got a real racket. And I found out what it was. Shortly, that started it. The doctor checks you into an X-ray machine. The girl, his worker takes care of you, taking the X-ray. He's a partner to the banks, certain bank. One bank is his partner. He turns the bill in to the bank. He used to turn it into the, what is that, who pays it, and you know, who pays the bills, the government. What's the name of the government office?
I don't know.
You know,
Medicare?
They chip in the bill, pay your bill.
The Treasury?
Treasury?
No, that you get when you're 65.
Social Security.
Right. Social Security is supposed to pay, what is it, 2/3 of your bill. You pay 1/3. Now, the hospital is partnered with the bank. He turns his bill into the bank, not again to Social Security, and the bill adds their charge for handling the check of maybe half the doctor's charge of 50. If he charges 100, the bank will charge you $50, and they tell you that it's not for services they're charging you, but that's their way they charge, and they'll tell you why. That's the way. So the way that the doctor gets $50 of it, they get $50 of it, and you pay $50 more extra to the bank for nothing. You don't get no service from them at all, but you have to pay the extra price. So that's extra money that the doctor and the bank are splitting that they wouldn't have before. They didn't charge that way.
It's baloney.
And they do, all the banks are doing the same thing. They're charging from the doctor's bill to the bank. They get the cut, and that's the end of it. And so much more money is going into the doctor's patient, you know, doctor and the bank, especially in the bank. And you had nothing to say. You pay it to them. If you complain to the they'll say, we'll check it, but they don't do it, and the bank doesn't pay nothing back and does nothing. They just keep that money. So in the meantime, your medical bill has gone up quite a bit because of the bank charge that you're paying. And that's my medical bills have gone up from $10 and $20 a charge up to $50, $60, and $70 charge from the bank, because the bank's sticking those and to collect it, and they found a way to find it lawfully.
Bullshit.
They're not stealing it. They're not stealing enough from it. They're charging you, and they're on paper, and they're taking it.
Yeah.